The movie begins with Pharaoh Seti I paying a visit to his mistress that nobody else is allowed to touch, Anak Sunamon. Unknown to him, his high priest Emotive is carrying on a secret affair with his mistress, and when the pharaoh discovers his mistress's body paint has been smeared during the paramour's trysts, the lovers kill him. The pharaoh's guards attempt to apprehend the killers, but after Anak-su-Namun makes him promise to resurrect her, she kills herself before the guards as Imhotep priests drag him away. After Anak-su-Namun's death, Imhotep steals her body and heads to Amunaptra, where he obtains the Book of the Dead. Armed with the grimoire and Anak-su-Namun vital organs stored in 5 sacred canopic jars, Imhotep attempts to retrieve his lover's soul from the dark underworld and return it to her body. However, just before they can complete the ritual, the pharaoh's bodyguards interrupt the ritual, and this sends Anak-su-Namun's soul plunging back to the underworld. Her return to the underworld is laughably a lighter fate than what is coming for Imhotep and his priests. The priests are mummified alive, but the worst is saved for Imhotep, who is condemned to endure the Hamdai, a most terrible ancient curse. One so terrible it had never been bestowed on anyone. His tongue is cut out and he mummified alive before being sealed in a sarcophagus filled with man-eaten scarabs, forever undead in his tomb. After this, he is placed under the surveillance of the Magi, descendants of the pharaoh's bodyguards, who must never allow him to be released for fear of releasing an unholy monster that will haunt mankind with plague and pestilence. Releasing an unholy monster that will haunt mankind with plague and pestilence. 3,000 years go by, and in 1923, a battle ensues over Ham and Utrecht between the Egyptians and the French Foreign Legion, both sides unaware of what powers lay beneath the now dead city. After his commanding officer deserts the outnumbered French legionnaire, Rick O'Connell is left in charge of his men as they face the numerous Egyptians who are fast approaching on horseback. Just before the Egyptians reach them, Rick's friend Biddy Gabber flees as well. Rick and the remaining men try to face the overwhelming force of the Egyptians, but it is no use and they are easily routed. Those who aren't dead retreat. As Rick tries to seek refuge within one of the abandoned temples, Vinny betrays him again and shuts him out. Rick tries to escape, but he is easily cornered by the Egyptian. He surrenders to them, but much to his surprise, they flee. As he wonders why this happened, the sand around him attacks him. Just before he manages to run away, an Imhotep-shaped head emerges from the sand. He manages to flee into the desert. The Magi who have been watching the sand. He manages to flee into the desert. The Magi who have been watching the entire battle let him wander on into the desert where they believe he will find his death. Their only concern is that Imhotep has not been discovered. 3 years later, Evelyn, the Egyptologist working at the Museum of Antiquities in Cairo, causes chaos as she accidentally knocks over all the shelves in the library. When Dr. Bay, the proprietor of the museum, tries to tear her down for destroying the library as he wonders why he keeps her there, she reminds him it is because of her expertise. After telling her to clean the place up, Evelyn is distracted by Jonathan, who snuck into the museum. Coupled with the mess made and the revelation that she has been rejected by the scholars at Bembridge, she is in no mood for Jonathan, who has already messed up his own career. Jonathan, however, cannot be denied as he has something of interest. A black box he got from thieves. Evelyn opens the box, which reveals a map to Ham and Apra, which is now considered a myth by scholars. When she shows this to Dr. Bay, he dismisses them and almost burns the map as searching for the city is a lost cause. In the next scene, Jonathan takes Evelyn to a prison where they can find the man he really got the map from, Rick O'Connell. After he punches Jonathan for stealing his things, Evelyn asks him to show them where Ham and After it is. After he kisses her, he tells her he would only do so if she got him out of there. He is taken to hang immediately, and his is only saved from death after Evelyn manages to negotiate with Warden Hassan for a percentage of the spoils they would get from Hamunaptra. In the next scene, the group board a boat to their destination. Although smitten by the cleaner Rick, she still does not trust him. Later that night, Magi sneak up on the boat as Jonathan gambles with some men on board. It is revealed that the men are treasure hunters on the way to Hamunaptra as well. The two groups bet $500 to see who would get to the city of the dead first. Rick joins Evelyn, who tells him her real reason for wanting to go to the Hamunaptra, the book of Amun-Ra. She then asks him why he kissed her. She is upset when he says he thought it would be a good idea, seeing as he was about to be hanged. When she leaves, Rick finds Benny eavesdropping and realizes he is the one guiding the treasure hunters. After he throws Benny off the boat, he discovers wet footprints on deck. Seconds later, Evelyn is attacked in her room by a magi who asks for the map and the key at knife point. She shows him the map, but she doesn't know what key the man wants. Rick saves her, but the boat is inadvertently set on fire. They leave the items as Rick claims to know the way in his head. However, Jonathan manages to obtain the black box. They all jump overboard and swim to land. The next day, the group restock before marching out to Hamunaptra on camelback. Rick sees Evelyn's beauty in her new clothes. The journey takes days, and they are observed by the Magi. One morning, the two rivaling groups watch at dawn as the city is exposed by sunlight, revealing the only way it could be found. When it is in full view, they all race to the city. Evelyn wins their bet as she is the first to set foot in the city. Both groups excavate the city. Rick gives Evelyn a gift of archaeologist tools and with her skills as an Egyptologist. Evelyn guides her groups through the tombs underground with mirrors that use sunlight to brighten up the place. The other group also go underground, and the two groups fight for territory. Meanwhile, Hassan sneaks up to search for treasure himself and comes across ruby scarabs in the walls, which he takes for himself. The treasure hunters also lose some of their helpers when they try to pry through a sealed door. In this time, Jonathan discovers a sarcophagus and a scarab enters into Hassan's body. Rick and the gang analyze the sarcophagus and realize the black box is the key. Just then, Hassan runs blindly into a wall and dies. As the group settle into the night, they are attacked by the Magi who tell them to leave, or they will all die. This convinces the treasure hunters that there must be some treasure here. As the others sleep, a drunk Evelyn passes out as the treasure hunters find a chest which promises death to those who open it, consuming those who open it in order to regenerate as a plague on Earth, a motive. But he flees the curse just as the treasure hunters open the box. Later on, Rick and the others open the sarcophagus, where they find Imhotep's remains. The treasure hunters also find the Book of the Dead and Anak Sunamon's remains in the canopic jars. When the treasure hunters sleep, Evelyn steals the book from their Egyptologist and opens it with the key. She reads from it and revives Imhotep. The mummy immediately unleashes a plague of locusts which engulf the camp. One of the hunters is left behind, blinded by his broken glasses, before he is attacked by Imhotep. Meanwhile, Rick and the Carnahans try to escape before they are attacked by scarabs. Evelyn is diverted by revolving walls where she finds the treasure hunter, who is now without his eyes and tongue, as well as Imhotep, who believes she is his lover. Rick manages to rescue Evelyn before running into the Magi, who must now hunt and kill Imhotep. Imhotep, meanwhile, recruits Binias his stooge. The others flee to Fort Bride in Cairo, where Rick wants to run away, but Evelyn wants to stop Imhotep. After arguing, Rick goes to the bar to drink where the other treasure hunters are having a drink, while Imhotep consumes their friend. After turning all the water to blood, a fiery hailstorm hits Cairo. The group run into Imhotep, and they are easily subdued by him before he runs away from a cat. Evelyn takes the men to Dr. Bay for help, where they find the Magi there. They reveal that they have been preventing Imhotep's return for over 3,000 years, and they must stop HM before he fully regains power by consuming the other treasure hunters. They also reveal that Imhotep calls Evelyn Anak-su-Namun has picked Evelyn as the human sacrifice to be made to revive Anak-su-Namun. Rick decides to find one of the treasure hunters before Imhotep gets to him. He leaves Evelyn in the other men's custody before running into Benny at remaining treasure hunters. House, who tells them that Imhotep is also looking for the Book of the Dead in Evelyn. At that moment, Imhotep consumes the man before releasing a plague of bees on the city. He returns to the museum where he consumes another treasure hunter. Rick manages to return with a cat before he takes Evelyn. Later on, Evelyn devises a plan to kill Imhotep with the Book of Amun-Ra. However, Imhotep has raised an army of mindless slaves who lay siege at the museum. They manage to locate the book and the statue of Anubis back at Hamunaptra, but they are unable to escape, as Imhotep consumes the last treasure hunter, and Evelyn is forced to surrender herself to Imhotep with the key. Rick, Jonathan, and the Magi are the only ones who are able to escape. Sometime later, they locate Winston, an old, thrill-seeking pilot, who takes them to Hamunaptra on his plane. They are, however, interrupted by Imhotep, who causes a plane crash with a massive sandstorm that kills the only old pilot. Believing they are dead, Imhotep returns to the temple. As Imhotep prepares Evelyn for the sacrifice when he realizes Rick and the others survived the plane crash, he revives some of his priests to attack the group, who are now in the temple as well. But he meanwhile uses this opportunity to steal gold. Meanwhile, Rick finds the Book of Amun-Ra. The Magi sacrifices himself so that Rick can escape and stop the ritual. Rick and Jonathan manage to arrive just before Imhotep completes the ritual. After Rick kills the priest and frees Evelyn, Imhotep revives dead palace guards to fight Rick. Evelyn is also forced to battle Anak-su-Namun, while helping Jonathan take control of the guards using the Book of Amun-Ra. He commands them to kill Anak-su-Namun before Evelyn is able to finally open the book and read from it. This makes Imhotep immortal. Rick is forced to stab him. He falls into a pit of the undead, and they consume him. The temple begins to disintegrate, which forces the group to lose the Book of Amun-Ra as the escape. Binny, who returned to the temple in order to steal more treasure, is trapped inside before being engulfed by a swarm of scarabs. In the final scene, Rick and the Carnhands are able to escape just to watch the temple crumble. They are surprised to find the Magi alive. He thanks them for their help before leaving. As Jonathan laments enduring the adventure but coming away empty-handed, Rick disagrees, and he kisses Evelyn before they all ride out into the desert on camelback. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get noticed when a new video is uploaded.